Hello, wrestling fans, and welcome to PWR Today. This is a very special edition. I know you guys normally download us on Monday mornings or Tuesday mornings or whatever day of the week, and you're listening to us on your way to work. We are putting this out right after the Royal Rumble has gone off the air. I'm the man they call Meathead. It is currently January 31st, 2020. You might be listening on February 1st, 2020. Joined by Linda Kay. Good morning, Linda, or good evening, Linda. You know, I'm so used to my normal thing there.
Yeah, I was gonna talk about Meathead in your cup, but that's just for the mornings, which it could
That's
be
right.
morning for someone tuning in the AM. But
Right.
happy
Or
post
in Russia.
Royal Rumble. Oh yes, that too. But happy post Royal Rumble.
We've got a lot of stuff to talk about. Sponsors, our friends at manscaped.com. Hey, Linda, the video I put out yesterday, did you see I threw in a sponsorship for Collar and Noble brand.com right in the middle of the draft? Brought to you by Collar and Noble brand.com. The promo code PWR360, they helped support the Royal Rumble pool that we ran there. Congratulations to those winners, by the way. Hopefully they're big listeners of the program. I don't think I asked them if they are or not, but I definitely brought up the program. But congratulations to those winners. One winner for the men's, one winner for the women's. PWR 360 will save you 10% off at collarandelbowbrand.com and then manscaped.com. Getting you silky smooth like David Octavius Hero, who he took a bit of a beating in the PWR draft, and we're going to get to that in a second. But PWR, 20% off, free shipping with manscaped.com. Linda, where would you like to start first? Would you like to start pre-show? Would you like to start the entire Royal Rumble night? Would you like to start talking about the PWR draft, which has taken a cataclysmic turn in advance? We've got lots. Tell me where you want to go.
Let's just start with the pre-show, and then
Okay.
I say the championship matches, and then we'll dissect each Royal Rumble, and then we'll draft info. How about that?
Pre-show. Not good stuff for me. The women's tag team champions, excuse me, Asuka and Charlotte, have lost their belts. They lose them to the team of Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, now two-time women's champion. I think they also join, I want to say it's Asuka and Kairi Sane and Sasha and Bayley as multiple women's tag team champions. This was due to a pre-show appearance by Lacey Evans with the Ric Flair appearance twice, once in the pre-show, once in the big show. Lacey Evans, a thorn in Charlotte's side. What are your thoughts?
Well, you kind of expected this to happen. We had a lot of this leading up. Ric Flair just cannot handle the heat from Lacey Evans, who is, by the way, on team a long time. So I did get some appearances.
You did love her a long time. Maybe Ric Flair's loving her a long time too. Who knows?
Absolutely. Yeah. I kind of surprised that they initially put Asuka and Charlotte together, these tag team champions, because I saw it going so many different ways, meaning Lacey and Charlotte having their own thing, Asuka and Alexa Bliss possibly. So the whole thing with Ric Flair and Lacey Evans coming out kind of sets precedence to what else is ahead for both Charlotte and Asuka, and that's not being the tag team champions, because, as you just mentioned, Nia Jax, Shayna Baszler, once again, women's tag team champions.
Wow. Okay. Well, that was the pre-show. Points scored there as well. Let's talk about the big show. And it opened up with a knock on the door. It was going to open up with Drew McIntyre, Bill Goldberg for the WWE Championship, the Raw Brand Championship. Goldberg gets a title defense, and Drew had been saying for the last couple of weeks, you were a man known about streaks. Well, I'm going to end a streak for you. Every time you come back, you seem to take somebody's title. That stops with me tonight. And, spoiler alert, he called it. Now, here's the odd thing. Dave Hero, I know he's spoken about this multiple times. And, when we had the PWR Live or PWR Big Show, Super Show, whatever you want to call it, we'll get to the super part of it in a minute too, mentioned that they were protecting his finisher. Well, Brock Lesnar's kicked out of it. I believe Braun Strowman kicked out of it once. And now Bill Goldberg is kicked out of the Claymore. But after multiple Claymores, your champion, still defending Drew McIntyre. Linda?
Well, I mean, they went at it before the bell even rang, and
Right,
it was Drew McIntyre giving a spear to Bill Goldberg. I'm like, okay, but Goldberg can get up from Drew's spear. Will will he be able to get up from Drew's Claymore? And
Right.
we saw that happen. But this match kicked off the Rumble, but honestly, it didn't do too much for me. And again, not necessarily WWE's fault. I mean, we didn't get much build up to it. We didn't get much heat to it. Obviously, Drew McIntyre
It felt
having
like filler.
COVID.
Great call.
It did.
It felt like filler.
It did. Once we saw the spear started off, I'm like, oh, is this going to be a, just spear, Claymore kind of match? And, it went longer than I thought, which was good, you know, but again, I just went into it not that excited about it. And it just didn't have much lead up. And again, not necessarily anyone's fault, but it's like we went to this match with Bill Goldberg saying that Drew doesn't have respect for legends, which he obviously does. And then they went into it leading off how Drew kept saying, so it's like wrestling my father. Okay. That's more of a funny haha,
Here's the thing. I was going to say, here's the thing with, this shouldn't be a filler match. I mean, we're talking Drew McIntyre, who in the last year has become top echelon talent in the company. He could be the company guy. And we're talking Hall of Fame Bill Goldberg. The two of them one-on-one should not be a filler match.
Sounds almost like a WrestleMania headlining match. If you just on paper,
On paper, but and nothing against Goldberg's look, but what happened to the classic WWE Goldberg tights?
Oh.
He was wearing like swim trunks, outdoor cabana wear.
Ooh. Yeah. I don't know. There were a lot of odd things that happened throughout the Rumble. So I am glad that Drew McIntyre retained.
So am I. Team, they call meatheads.
Yes. But also just being, I feel, a better champion to hold on to that strap on the road to WrestleMania.
Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, Drew McIntyre retains against Bill Goldberg, and then at the end, you got it. You're my respect. Okay. All right, Bill. Thanks. Thanks for stopping by. Yikes.
When you and Matthew talked about this last week, Matthew brought up about how Goldberg's thing isn't just a one and done, that he might have won that title to hold on to it going to WrestleMania. But I mean, it ended with them, the handshake, the respect, which is nice, but it's kind of like, is there anything else with Goldberg right now? I mean, probably not, because now Drew McIntyre is going to have a feud with possibly with, the Royal Rumble winner or
someone else, something else.
Yeah.
Who's to say? But let's talk about another championship match. SmackDown Women's Champion Sasha Banks defends against Carmella. This was a heavy-hitting match, and Carmella really brought it to the table, I thought.
Yeah, I thought it was better than their previous matches. And, we got some interference from Reginald Sommelier, which we expected. So that was great to kind of break into the match. But, it was kind of a coin toss for me with this one. But I felt strongly that Sasha would retain. But I would like to see some more of Carmella and Sasha. They have something good going there. And maybe one day the coin will flip over to Carmella's side. But she definitely brought it. Both looked great. And in the end, we got Sasha still your SmackDown Women's Champ.
Yeah. Okay, you ready to talk the Women's Battle Royal or Women's Royal Rumble match?
Or are we going to do the
Or you want to do the other championship, the Kevin Owens and Roman? Let's do Kevin and Roman.
All right.
Let's talk handcuffs.
That was the way I think we can talk. Okay, sorry. I have so many good things to say about this match until that very end, but whatever you want to start with.
Oh, that's fine. I brought that up because I know you wanted to talk about it, but we'll work towards it. I've been complaining since we went to the Thunderdome that what have I been asking for? Where's the drones? I was promised drones. They were in full force tonight. We haven't seen them in a while. There's some drones in the shots tonight and some of the stuff. And then when they went back in the baseball stadium area, there's no way they could have done cameras without the drones. Thank you, WWE. It's about time I got my drones.
Mm-hmm.
The forklift spot.
Yeah.
Absolutely loved it.
Yeah, it was great to see more of the Thunderdome and just so many other types of matches or other stipulations they could do being inside Tropicana Field. And we got to see more of it. And I'm glad with this being a last man standing match, we had some weaponry. We got more than them having shenanigans by the screens like around the arena. We got to see the back and, the golf cart popped at that.
That was amazing.
That one came out of nowhere. I know a lot of people have brought up AEW's golf cart.
So gimmick. What though?
Yeah, this is different.
It was a flash. I mean, you could see Owens if you go back and watch it. Just a mere second, he braced for impact.
Mm-hmm.
And mentally, I thought because you could see him brace for impact.
Yeah.
I gotta call out something though. This is me just maybe paying attention too much.
Okay.
Why didn't the Miz show up when the Money in the Bank briefcase was on the table right there?
Tell me about it. Popped through my head many times.
And that was Johnny Bling Bling or Johnny Woo Woo or whatever his name is. Johnny Drip Drip. That was his jacket laying there too.
I don't know.
When they were battling, it was that's his briefcase because it had the same dent in it.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, a lot of hard-hitting action in this one. I liked it all the way until the handcuffs, which
tell us the story about the handcuffs, Linda.
Well, I mean, they were tearing up the place. That was great. Last man standing, awesome. Until Paul Heyman didn't have the key or the... I was thinking he had some other type of gimmick, and then I was thinking this is taking too long. Oh, let's talk about that ref bump, too. That one was great. But then the other ref came in, started doing the count, and then oddly stopped about halfway through.
Right.
And now I'm sure Heyman and Roman are like frantic about staying handcuffed.
Yep. What about the spot where Kevin Owens burned himself on one of the projectors? I mean, it's not funny. They're like, ow! And you go, okay, it was like I burnt myself on the projector. And he literally pointed at the projector.
Yeah.
It was kind of funny. I mean, I'm glad he's okay, but it was kind of funny.
A lot of random things.
Yeah. I thought he was going to hit it again a second time, too. I really did.
Well, let me just say, number one, I'm glad that he didn't hit his head on the concrete. I felt a little on edge about that one, but obviously that bump was successful. However, the whole handcuff gimmick, not so much. However, I mean, you got to do what you got to do at that point, live TV. Yep. Okay, once the handcuffs are done, let's just proceed as we were supposed to. So we got that guillotine finish, okay. But here's my bone to pick is, where was The Miz at this point? He could have cashed in while Roman was stuck handcuffed for one.
Right.
Or just right after the finish. I don't think Paul Heyman was going to do anything.
No, Paul Heyman couldn't do anything. He's from New York. He'll whip your ass, is what he said.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the handcuffs couldn't even get those.
Right. Great match ruined by a funky finish.
I know, that sucked. It was a great match until that point, but what can you do?
Okay, so those are all the title matches, right?
Yes.
Ready to talk?
Well, kind of R-Truth, but that was very
cool. We've got better things to talk about than
Okay.
I'm gonna politely decline. I love R-Truth, but not tonight. So let's talk women's. Absolutely ecstatic to see Billy and Jilly. Jillian Hall singing her way to the ring in the Women's Royal Rumble.
That was funny.
What was your moment, before we get to the finishes of the match? What was your favorite moment as far as surprises, people that came in? There was a couple other surprises of people that were in the match. You tell me what you got.
Honestly, I loved that spot with R-Truth and with Alicia Fox. I don't know why I found that spot so funny, but
which part, where he came in and thought he was in the Rumble, or when she?
Yeah, well, that, and then she covered him for the title. Was 24/7 champion for 2 minutes and 5 seconds. Yeah. And then once the guys came in, started chasing R-Truth, then she ran off, started chasing him too. Made me laugh. That was good, and also to see, Alicia Fox and any surprise returns.
Tori Wilson.
Yes, Tori. Victoria,
yeah. in
see her
4K.
there. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mickey
I want to.
James, I mean,
Yes.
technically is a return, but I mean, Mickey's been with the company recently.
Yes. It was great seeing the NXT ladies in there. Obviously, Rhea Ripley was the huge one. Well, she had a great showing, though. Sorry,
She
Meathead.
did. You know what? They gave her, and I was worried about this all night. They gave her the eliminating the most people gimmick, right? Because she just started eliminating people. She just started
Mm-hmm.
throwing them over the top. I'm like, oh, don't do a Kane thing where she's going to take this away from the Rumble but not get the win. Please, please don't do that. She made it all the way to the end. I like the truce at the end. Let's just go back in the ring. Let's go at it again.
Mm-hmm.
Also, how about the work between a returning Naomi and Bianca?
Yeah, that was great to see as well. A lot of good potential matchups really come out of these Rumble matches. So that was great to see Naomi return as well. She was in there for a really long time.
Yeah, she was number 2, I believe.
Yeah, yep. I was a little surprised. Well, I'm going to say a little, very surprised about the spot with Alexa Bliss because I picked her as winning. I mean, it came down to her and Bianca in my mind, but I went with Alexa just because of all the, everything going on with the Fiend. But we got no Fiend, and Alexa in and out. Couldn't even transform, which that was funny because I was thinking, how are they going to pull this off? Because they're rolling live, but basically Ripley threw her out and she couldn't transform into a different version. And then you didn't even see her like pout her way out. You didn't even see her anymore. I was like, oh, that was pretty lackluster.
So it was very lackluster. Some of the other quote unquote surprises. I mean, the NXT girls, Shotzi was in there. We had Rhea, we had Toni Storm, Ember Moon. You also had Dakota Kai. Let's see who else was there. Santana was in the match as well.
I would like to see Candice. I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I was going to say Carmella, after her women's match, actually came back into the match.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I think the way it came down to the wire, or like the final ladies, excuse me,
yes.
Were all great. I liked how everything came about. You weren't sure if Charlotte was going to win back-to-back Rumbles. Like you mentioned, how Rhea and Bianca, they had that truce, but they also worked together, get Charlotte out, and then the close finishes in the end. You kind of weren't sure who it would go to. I wasn't, at least. It was very back and forth. I thought they did a great job at making it so close that you weren't sure who was going to win in the end. And in the end, we got Bianca Belair, but I'm very happy. Yep. I like Bianca Belair, and obviously they've been pushing her a lot. So kind of, I don't say obvious because the way the match was going, it could have went different ways, but
it could have went to Rhea Ripley, but that's just me, pouting. So let's talk about it. We alluded to it. You brought it up, and let's really get into it. I had an issue with Bianca before tonight. What was my issue? My issue was she tells us she's the EST, and she hasn't won a damn thing. Tonight, she won, quite possibly, the biggest thing she could have won. Yeah, you can win the title on a Raw or SmackDown or a random pay-per-view, but you just won the Royal Rumble. You're going to WrestleMania to main event. I'm done dogging on Bianca. She is the winningest at the Royal Rumble. She is the EST of the Royal Rumble. She came in number 3. She outlasted a lot of them. She had to work with Naomi. She had to work with Rhea, have a truce. She had a very heartfelt, emotional celebration speech at the end, and Bianca Belair is going to WrestleMania.
Yes. It's great to see this push and her hard work pay off, and now even in your eyes, she's got that chance to prove she is the best, the fastest.
I'm the Bill Goldberg, and she's the Drew McIntyre. You got it. That's it. I mean, she did what she said she was. She hadn't done it up until tonight. She did it. Let's move on. Okay. She's earned the EST. All right. Let's talk men's. I've got the list in front of me. As far as Matthew Thomas goes, Matthew Damas, as we call him, the predictor of the PWR Today show, Did you hear Friday's show? What did we talk about? Somebody that wasn't there at the Raw Legends show and said, you know what, maybe he'll show up. Maybe this is the payoff for him not being able to make it. And I spit in the face of people who don't want to be cool.
Carlito.
Look who showed up. Carlito.
Yes. Looking tremendous, by the way.
Holy smokes. The afro's still there, as it should be, because that's the signature hair. But
the apple.
And the apple. But, I mean, he looked ripped. I mean, the oil helps too, obviously. But
yeah, I noticed that Sheen as well.
Not Charlie Sheen, not Martin Sheen, not Emilio Estevez Sheen.
Yes.
He looked good. Who was your biggest surprise besides Carlito? Who else?
Oh, I have to think about this. Who else?
I'm looking at the list now, and honestly, the rest of the list only has one other big surprise on there that we had no idea. Oh, Kane. I mean, no, I'm looking at a man that gives us a peep show with a 5-second pose.
Oh yeah, dog.
Christian looking good. I mean, Edge is an emotional guy. We saw what Edge looked like last year when he showed up after 9 years. Edge had been beaten on the entire match. I mean, this dude was just beaten down, right? When he saw his boy show up, I thought he was going to cry there too. And I almost did myself because give them their moment. All right, everybody clear. Hug. All right, let's go. Dude, how come they didn't let Riddle hug? Riddle annoys me sometimes, but honestly, Riddle just wanted love. He just wants to be loved. That's all.
Yes. We even got a hug from Daniel Bryan and Kane.
Yeah. Well, I mean, then a choke slam. Yeah, so he hugged his neck with his hand.
Yeah, but that would have been nice. But this was Edge and Christian's moment and night to shine, if you will. So I guess they could have.
Edge and Christian, folks, again, you know the stories, but let's reiterate it one more time. Edge and Christian were childhood friends that went to wrestling together, grew up together, wanted to be wrestlers together, became wrestlers together, became tag team champions, became world champions, retired together, almost together. I think there's a 2-year difference between them, but they retired because they had injuries that they thought they'd never come back from. They're back. Yeah. They're Hall of Famers. This is fairy tale stuff.
Yeah. I mean, gosh, yeah. I mean, I'm watching them in retrospect, talking about it more. Like that's really special because, obviously watching or their whole WWE career at least.
Yeah.
To their real life injuries and of course the retirements and seeing this.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I really didn't expect to ever see Christian again, really.
Ever compete.
Yeah.
Right.
Be active in the ring again. So that was great to see. I'm glad they had their moment, and it was great to see how important of a role Christian in the Rumble actually was.
Right.
He didn't turn on Edge at all, thank goodness. I did not want to see that.
Well, Randy Orton turned on Edge the night after. So, I mean, you got to give him 24 hours.
Yeah. Yeah, exactly.
Edge has already been down this road. Looks like, as I go up and down this list, technically only one NXT male competitor, and he looked good, I think, in the match. Damian Priest, helping Bad Bunny eliminate Miz and Morrison.
I forgot about Bad Bunny.
Yeah, well, I mean, it is what it is. I mean, Bad Bunny, had Booker T looking all mean up on the stage.
Yeah, I thought Damian Priest in the Rumble was a great addition. Did he get Strowman out too?
He looked like he fit.
Yeah, that too. Or no, he didn't get Strowman. What am I thinking? I think he just was close to it, or I don't know. But that I'm surprised he was the only NXT. No wonder why not many NXT talent were mentioned being in it, because they just really weren't.
They weren't. Well, and it's ironic. We've got one more to bring up here. This man, a friend, a member, really, of the PWR family. He was filming PWR Super Show a bunch of times and said, I got something in the works. I can't tell you about it. And then showed up as he got rescued by Matt Hardy out of the Lake of Reincarnation. Well, now apparently he's able to wrestle anywhere, because stand back, there's a hurricane coming through, and he was at the Royal Rumble.
Tremendous. How about
he tried to choke slam how many people in a row?
I'd have to watch it back, but it's so great to see. Yeah, he just pops up everywhere, but that's great. He is our friend. And he deserves.
He's our friend. We're so happy. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously, he back with WWE, back working in an agent role now, so producer role. Absolutely happy to see him working. And again, he was in the Royal Rumble. He lasted for a minute or so, 2 minutes. I don't remember how long, but he was in it.
Mm-hmm.
He was in it longer than Drew Carey or Pete Rose.
Santino
or Santina.
Bushwhacker Luke.
Yep. Hey, you know what? I'll still contend. Now, you're talking about different years, but I'll still contend that Santino should have the record for the longest Royal Rumble ever because he was one man away from winning the 40-man Battle Royal. Yeah. That day still drives me nuts. I have flashbacks over that, Linda. Remember the pool we ran that night?
Mm-hmm.
Remember when you were like, oh, I think I'm going to win this one. Look, I got Alberto Del Rio. Yeah. And Santino showed up and Meathead said, oh, I've got Santino. Yes. Oh, there he goes. That's not cool. The winner of the match, as we knew, Randy Orton, when he got sent to the back, was always coming back.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we knew that was going to happen.
We all knew it.
They always showed to that. But, sorry, before we get to that final finish, I forgot to mention the return of Seth Rollins.
Oh, the return of Seth Rollins. Yeah. So now Dominic and Ray have two people that are the same. Because I thought King Corbin was going to change his name to Rollins.
Yeah. Well, you know what? Randy Orton's face was no longer burned. Rey Mysterio's got its eyeball back. So.
Well, Rey Mysterio went longer. Because seriously, was it this last Monday or the Monday prior that Randy Orton's face was orange and burned?
It was last week, wasn't it? Still, yeah, because
probably
it was.
You know what he used? I know what he used.
What?
He used that bomb, the bomb that Kramer used. Remember, Jackie Childs told him not to put on the bomb. Who told you to use a bomb? I didn't tell you to use a bomb. Why did you use a bomb? I didn't tell you to use any kind of bomb. Randy Orton used the bomb.
And it worked.
Well, apparently his face is back to normal again.
Yeah.
It's ironic, too, because Randy Orton yelling at Sami Zayn in the beginning of the match, I love your fire. I love it. I love it. RKO. It's funny because I thought he was going to start doing stuff with fire. I thought that was a way to play off of that. And then Randy Orton hit in the back for a while, went to catering, came back and tried to win the match.
Which I was for a split second thinking, oh, man, that dirty son of a gun. And then he got thrown. I like that quick switcheroo between him and Edge. Of course, Edge winning. Tremendous. I loved it. I loved that Edge, especially coming in at number one, which, okay, sorry, another kabuki thing. When did they decide to switch their order? Right? Wasn't Randy supposed to be number one and Edge two?
I thought that's what it was supposed to be, but I don't remember.
It was, because I think Michael Cole said Edge is not even, or if it was Corey Graves.
Oh, he's not even waiting. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm sure that messed up a lot of people's perhaps Royal Rumble pools. Maybe.
Well, it made them happy, or it made them sad. I'm looking at my pool. There's a guy that I sent him a message, says, on this day I can see clearly that you won the men's Royal Rumble, and here's your money. The other guy who I'm looking at has Randy Orton. Probably was like, got two. Oh, Randy Orton, I might. And then, was sweating the action all night thinking Randy Orton hasn't come back yet. He hasn't come back yet. Oh, he's back. He had that Santino moment like I had.
Yeah. Well, hooray for Edge. I can see this now leading to Edge Reigns kind of thing, unless things change leading up to Mania. But if that's what happens, I like it. So,
okay.
And as long as there's no handcuffs involved, no more last man standing, no more best match evers.
That's what hurt Edge. That's how he got injured. Was having the greatest wrestling match ever.
Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. Anywho,
that's how he got hurt.
Edge.
All right, we got one more thing to bring up here. I know we've been running long here, but I mean, seriously, folks, it's the Royal Rumble. We have stuff to talk about. Let's talk PWR Draft. Now, with Damian Nelson gone, again, we have Team Matt Damien, which is Matthew Thomas taking over Damian's team. Even though the big show, the Super Show, is not there anymore, this PWR Draft will be going through to WrestleMania. Linda, we have officially 5 pay-per-views left. We've got TakeOver from NXT, Elimination Chamber for the WWE, Revolution from AEW, Fastlane from WWE, and WrestleMania.
Wow.
Last night, or tonight, depending on when you're listening, it was still a clear cakewalk for the man they call Meathead. I've been leading since the beginning, since the Money in the Bank, when Asuka won the Money in the Bank and the Raw Women's Championship on the same night when Becky gave it up because she was pregnant. Last night, Andrew Baydava set a new PWR Draft record. He not only had Bianca Belair, he had Edge. I thought our PWR Twitter team was going to tweet it out. The accounting firm of Dewey, Cheatham & Howe had said it's official. Andrew Baydava dropped SCU before the pay-per-view and picked up Edge. He won both Royal Rumbles at 100 points apiece. Andrew Baydava scored 590 points at the Rumble.
Wow.
A man who was basically a laughingstock for the first half of the year because we kept giving him a hard time about all his dead competitors. Not dead, but guys that aren't earning any points. The Brock Lesnar's, the Edges, the Charlottes that were all out injured. This man, in the last 3 pay-per-views alone, or 3 or 4, has come back to relevancy, so much so that he has overtaken Dave Hero. Drew Baydava's in second place. Let's talk totals. After the Royal Rumble, the man they call Meathead leads 2,830 points. Drew Baydava's 590 points bring him up to second place with 2,620 points. Falling to third with only 165 points at the pay-per-view, Dave Hero at 2,390 points. In fourth place, Team Matt Damien. He only scored 135 points at the pay-per-view. Now has 2,105 points. And Linda, you're in last place with 1,795 points. But you scored more than Dave Hero and Team Matt Damien. You scored 230 at the Rumble.
Yeah. Hey, that's a win in my eyes.
It is a win in your eyes. Win the day.
Year,
but with, like I said, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pay-per-views left. Let's count them again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. With 5 pay-per-views left to go, we've got a race. And I always thought I'd be going head-to-head with Dave throughout the year because he's the opinionist, DHHS, DHHS. I don't know who woke up Drew Bay, but it's for real. He has both Rumble winners, and both of those competitors are going to WrestleMania in the main event. Linda, your thoughts on the PWR draft and what Drew did?
Wow. Getting Edge in at the very last minute back on his team before the Rumble was a very huge move.
For free, technically, because the accounting firm did officially consider, because even though I still debate with the team on this all the time, even though Christopher Daniels said that he would retire if he would lose a match with Frankie Kaz, there is rumor out there that Christopher Daniels is semi-retired now. So because he retired, that qualified as a free pickup. Drop SCU, picked up Edge. I still disagree, but it's official.
Mm. Well, I mean, it just proves that any one event or any time throughout the pay-per-view calendar, something huge can happen and totally change the scheme of things, and the race is definitely tightened. Heck, 5 pay-per-views, Team Long Time might come in and make a big dent too.
I think you can. And these are just the announced ones. I don't think WWE is doing any. I mean, they just did an India pay-per-view where they did the Superstar Spectacle, which counted for points. They're unannounced. So, I mean, it's possible they could do a Saudi Arabia show before the end of the season.
Yeah. Because, I mean, I'm trying to think of where it could fit in. Well, hey,
they could put it anywhere.
Yeah, that Superstar Spectacle came out of nowhere.
Tuesday afternoon.
Tuesday morning.
Tuesday morning. Actually. Yeah. Well, it could be anywhere because they won't be doing the shows out there due to the pandemic. So all they have to do is bring the talent into the Thunderdome, and they can record it anytime. Speaking of, again, we've talked about the WWE Network. All these events hopefully will still be on the network once we get to WrestleMania. You know, if you have your WWE Network membership, your login, your account, that'll be transferred over to the Peacock. in March, I believe, with the WWE Fastlane on March 21st. So, wow. Again, let's say this one more time. I still lead at 2,830. Drew Baydala shot up. He's at 2,620. I only have a 210-point lead going into the final 5. Just out of nowhere, like an RKO.
Ah, I like that.
Hey, I know that we're still technically post Rumble, but we're, most people are listening to us Monday morning. Raw tonight, probably one of the bigger shows of the year. I don't have a bunch of preview to give you. Edge won. He's going to talk about it. He'll tell people his feelings on stuff. And that's pretty much it. Randy Orton will explain to everybody that he used the bomb to get rid of his burn so he can't sue. Jackie Childs is pissed. And, that's really all I've got.
Yeah. I mean, can the Fiend come back still? That's still a thing, right?
It could be. Because Randy Orton's burn went away, so maybe the Fiend should come back. I don't know.
I don't think they'll really continue a Randy Orton Edge thing.
Maybe we'll hear from Christian.
Ooh.
Maybe somebody will show up again. Maybe there was rumor that a certain man who's booked for WrestleMania might show up. Somebody that we haven't seen, because he can't see me.
I was really hoping to see Cena last night or tonight.
Well, they referenced him. That's how, and like I said, not to discredit R-Truth, but that's how R-Truth lost his 24/7 belt, because he said, "Hey, John Cena's here. He's right over there. John, my hero, John. 1, 2, 3, and he's gone." Hey, Gronk held the belt longer. I don't like the slam on David Arquette. After watching you can't kill David Arquette. I feel bad for him because, all that heat that he's gotten from WCW for the last 20 years, it's Bischoff's fault, not his. And this dude's taking the brunt of it. So,
yeah,
that's a big show, Linda. I'm excited to check out the listens. I'm excited to hear about how you guys are telling your friends. Share, like, comment. Make sure that we get this word out. We've been doing it. We're almost back now, a full year again. So excited to be back doing this. For Linda Kay, I'm the man they call Meathead. We'll see you again Tuesday morning to talk everything that happened on Raw. All right. That's a big one. I really don't even know how to close it out. We talked a lot, and we had a lot of show then. I don't think we covered it all. So we'll talk to you again tomorrow morning. So long, everyone.